He was a man, they say he was simple. He took less than a day had time. You could see in his eyes just what he lived for. Hey, Trapper Dan here. We got about 8 or 9 inches of snow overnight here on the Trapline, and probably going to get 2 or 3 more today by noon. As much as it can be a pain in the butt, I just love this. This is awesome out here. Everything's a little quiet, and we're going to see when the animals start to wake up, and I'm going to see all their tracks, so it's like pretty awesome. So what I'm doing this morning is this. Just taking my little whisk broom there and sweeping out all my bobcat cubbies. So flagging is working great, and I'm just trying to make this, more eye appeal, like, get it down to the snow, and even have my trap pan almost uncovered. And I'm gonna throw a little skunk bait in here too. Not skunk bait, sorry, skunk essence, and give it some extra smell, so as the storm is over and animals start wandering around, this might be a prime feeding site. Also taking this time to work in the fur shed and put up my fur. On this line, I got my bobcat cubbies all uncovered. A few hay sets too. Other ones are so buried I didn't know where the traps are, so I didn't mess with them until things thaw out. But man, how exhilarating it is to experience Mother Nature on the Trapline. I'll take all of it. I don't care. This is where it's at. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you my trail. I mean, just driving the trail is fun. I have farmers who have given me permission right out my back door, so just go through the woods here. Try not to knock my head on a branch. This is right behind my house. These woods right here are really good for mink and raccoons and muskrat right along the ponds. Alright, I got done checking all of the traps that I could do from an ATV, and now I'm hiking in, and this is definitely like a foot of snow here, but it's gorgeous out. I didn't bring my sled, so I'm hoping that I don't get a huge beaver or two, frankly. Where the beaver sets are in here, I'm not seeing signs, so I'm really kind of more interested in my predator sets here. And just like where I was with the ATV, I'm just gonna sweep them out, have my broom with me, throw a little skunk essence on them, and hopefully when these critters start moving around after the snow, we'll get some action. I really suck at coyote trapping. I am not getting any, and I am having trap pan covers uncovered, and I'm having diggers, and I'm doing something wrong. So I'm determined to keep working at it. Doing good on bobcats and fox and raccoon, but coyotes are escaping me. And I'm seeing them on the cameras looking at the traps and not even coming in. So they're avoiding, they're shy to the sets. So I'm starting to concentrate more on where I can trap them with blind sets, flat sets, really bring down anything that might make them curious or nervous. I don't want them to notice anything. So I'm going to show you one right now that I did a couple weeks ago with some trail sets in an area where I put some deer hide. Check this out. Hey, Trapper Dan out on the trap line here on New Year's Day. Kind of excited here. I want to show you something. See all this tall grass right here? I threw my buddy's deer hide in the back there, and I set some blind sets on these little trails coming in. And I did that 3 weeks before Christmas, and nothing ever touched that hide. I went on holiday and came back. I tripped those traps off, before the holiday. And now the hide is gone. There's a bunch of hair in the field out here. The hide is actually way down there where I set a bobcat cubby. And so I put one trap in here and threw a couple legs back in there yesterday. And the trap was right here. And it's gone. This is on a drag. So it's kind of exciting. The hunt is on. Well, it definitely came through here. Here's my chain, and here's what sucks. There's the trap with nothing in it. Looks like something pulled out. Here's the toe. So I think this is a Victor 1 3/4. It's one of the first traps I ever bought, and on the drag, but I got a toe. Sorry for that guy running around without a toe, but this is my drag, by the way. Look at this thing. He harvested every grass and picker bush, and that saber-tooth drag stopped him, but it went further than most times. Well, you saw the trap didn't hold. I'm gonna just show you right here. Honestly, first I have to say, I'm pretty darn excited that this worked, because I've done this for a number of years where someone will give you some deer parts or something, or in one case I wired down chicken wire over a beaver carcass, and never have I gotten anything on any of these kind of sets. But in this case it worked. Combination of things, probably because I had a good blind trail set on the way in. I didn't put any traps near the in this case deer legs and deer hide remnants, but to get something to step into that in this pretty big 50 square foot grassy area, I only had one trap. Excuse my Frankenstein here. Had a little face surgery 2 days ago, so no big deal. Just a removal of something that shouldn't be on me, so take a little while to heal up. The other thing that I did, which I've done for a few years in a row, is make some wax dirt. So another pre-season prep thing, especially finding nice dry dirt like under a bridge or in a basement, or in my case I just had to buy some soil for my yard and I sifted out a bunch and dried it in the sun. So anyways, here, let me show you how I make, I guess what you would call small batch wax dirt. So it's pretty simple. All I have here is a steam table. So I have a 6-inch hotel pan with some water in it and a 4-inch hotel pan sitting on it and a little Coleman stove. You'll see a lot of guys making wax dirt with like cement mixers and roasting pans and things, but wax melts. This wax melts, I believe, at about 144, so you don't really have to use dry heat. You can just boil water under there. 5 make sure I get my recipe down. 6, so 6 cups of dry dirt. I'm gonna do 12 cups of dry dirt. 2 more, I think. And I'm getting this warm. Well, what I was getting to is if you use dry heat, you can easily scorch your dirt. Then I'm pretty sure it's going to have a pretty strong aroma. So by using the steam table pan, you're never going to scorch it because you're never going to go over 212, boiling point of water. I mean, it's pressurized, so maybe it can get a little hotter in there because it's kind of heavy on top of there. But it's definitely not going to scorch, and it melts pretty easy. So what I do is I just start mixing it here. Some of these chunks I'm just breaking up because it's fun. So what I did was I sifted dirt, and I saw online another trapper, he just goes to the hardware store and buys sand. And I didn't want just sand, so I just did like a maybe 2/3 dirt, 1/3 sand. And in this particular batch, I dumped in a little bit of peat moss because I was at a trapping convention where a guy did this blend of dirt and peat moss. But I'm not going to do that again because you can see a lot of little sticks and things in there that's a pine needle, but they came from the peat moss. So this one just happens to be kind of high in the peat moss. My other 2 buckets are not, so that'll be nicer for me. So anyways, I just mix it like this. Now, I was trying to save propane, so I had turned off my burner, but now I'm just gonna turn my burner on. Make sure I get my lighter here. So, turn my burner on. Doesn't have to be very high. Try to bring it down a little bit. And then I just have spatula here, and I just stir this stuff around, and you're gonna see that it starts to get darker. And actually it's kind of nice to leave some of these bigger pieces of wax, because when they start disappearing, you're hitting your melting point. So it's kind of fun making wax dirt. It's like cooking up dirt, like making mud pies or something. So what I do is, once I have this all cooked up, and I'll show you in a minute when it looks like it's ready, and also we're gonna take the temperature, then I just scoop it into a bucket, and here's my bucket. So I already have a whole bucket of finished wax dirt here. And then what I'm doing today is I'm just throwing it out on my tarp. So throw it out, spread it out a little bit with my hands. And this is, I don't know, maybe 6 batches I've done so far. And you can see what I did with it. So you can see some of it's like clumped up a little bit, but it's not too bad. Like, it's going to easily break up. And there's some more of my little sticks from the peat moss. But yeah, 2/3 topsoil, 1/3 sand, and I'll show you. I'm cooking this other batch, but I'll show you how water is not going to go through this, and it's going to shed it off of my my traps. $158. So that's all done now. So I'm turning off my burner to save my propane, and I forgot my bucket out here from the last batch. So take this. One thing I'm really hoping is not a big mistake by me, but I happen to be a restaurateur, and I have lots of buckets. So this blue one used to have raspberry jam in it, and all of these white ones had pickles in them. So they have been really well aired out. I don't think they smell like the food anymore, but yeah, I guess I'm hoping that I'm not like scenting my wax dirt with the previous food that was in the bucket, but I guess we'll find out. I use the buckets for composting, so these buckets have been without pickles in them or berries or anything for a very long time, most of them. So scoop it out, and then just get in my my scooper here and start my next recipe. So usually I just try to get dirt in there right away, so that it's starting to take the heat from the pan. 4, 5, 6, so we're going to do 12 cups of dirt again, and 2 cups of wax. 3, 4, 5, 6. And listen, I guess you could do bigger batches if you had bigger things, but it's going pretty fast. Just takes me maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes a pan. Hey, also, you don't need one of these fancy thermometers to check your wax dirt temperature at all. Basically, you can see, I'll just flip this around here, you can see when it's done, because as I said before, all the lumps of wax that were a little bigger are gone, and you can just feel it. Most people's water in their house is 120 to 140 degrees, and so if it's getting almost too hot that you can't hold on to it, then you're done. Okay, so we're going to test my wax dirt here. I have a little water I've been drinking, and I'm just going to pour a little bit onto my dirt here. And so you can see it won't go into the dirt. As I shake it, it's getting like some dirt floating on it, but it just won't go in. And it's completely waterproof dirt. See if I can even just pour. I don't know if I can pour the water off without pouring the dirt out. Looks like I can. Pour a little bit of my dirt out. There we go. So yeah, works really good. Some trappers like to use it, some don't. I'm gonna give it a go for my second year. I've got some flagging hanging right here and my bobcat cubby, and what I did was I used Hag's slide. So there's a chain that's going all the way over here, and we see on the end of it we have not a bobcat but a nice red fox today. And the bonus to this is he didn't mess up my cubby, so I can reset this real quick. Pretty cool, huh? I was definitely feeling like after this snowstorm we were going to get some animals coming out, and the first trap I'm checking this morning, I've got a raccoon right back here. Well, sometimes you gotta check the trap line before it's really light out. Gotta go to meetings today, but pretty psyched we got this raccoon here in a dog-proof trap. He's a big one, and he's gonna have good fur. All right, pretty nice raccoon here on January 11th, so full prime fur. And doesn't look too yellowed or anything. And I just want to show you what I'm doing here for the coons. So this is a dog-proof trap, meaning dogs can't get caught in them, and good to use around the farm if you have dogs around the farm. And what I'm doing is I'm putting this is catfish food. The reason I'm using that and instead of something like dog food is because it's like pretty waterproof, so it doesn't blow out. It'll last a while. And also I sprayed this with coon collector, which is kind of like a super concentrated Kool-Aid smell. So what I'm doing is just taking this and putting it down in there. Some outside is fine. And then, so the mice don't eat it all up, I just put this golf ball on top, and the foil just kind of helps hold it in place so it doesn't come off easy. And raccoons just come and take this off. They reach down in there, and there's a trigger that's a pull-only trigger, and it pops that and basically holds them by the arm. Hey, that's it for Trapper Dan's Trapline talk for this episode. Stay tuned, because on the next one we're going to work on getting those coyotes, and we're also going to be using some beaver tail bait. And yeah, I'll show you more about what's going to happen here for the last 5-6 weeks of the predator season. Remember, Trapper Snore, sustainable, natural, organic, renewable resource.